Hey, Coach Nate here, talking about how to recover after a marathon. You've just punished your body. Maybe you're still eating all the donuts. That's just fine. I'm going to give you 4 post-donut things to do that'll be very good for that body, as well as some guidance on when to get back into running. Let's dig in. Hey, congratulations, you knocked that sucker out of the park, or you got to the finish line anyway, hopefully, and that's really what we're going for. Now, this next piece with our recovery, we actually need to keep some movement in there. You want to rest. I know you want to eat all the donuts, as I referenced to earlier. That is just fine. Eat some of the donuts, save some for the other runners. But you want to keep your body moving a little bit, because this movement is going to keep a little bit of blood flow happening, and it's going to help just facilitate your general recovery and that muscle repair. Easy walks are a great place to start. If you have access to a bike or a rower and you want to go for a super easy pedal, nothing should be high heart rate, nothing should be aggressive. You're still staying very relaxed, but just gentle movement is going to help get you back to normal. So this week is also really important to do a full body scan, just to really get a sense of where your body's at right now. Now, generally, we're gonna see your quads, your hamstrings, super crispy. They might be a little painful to touch, so more gentle mobility right now is gonna be the name of the game. But especially if you have been going in the last 4 to 6 weeks of training with any niggling issues, this is where you wanna give them a little extra love. So I've got my coffee mug here. I've got my trusty mobility dog, who's gonna be riding shotgun with me as I do this. Get here, Nora. Get out of here so the internet runners can see what's going on. She's getting into better petting position is really what this is. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. So I'm gonna take my roller here, and I'm just gonna do some very gentle mobility. Sometimes I go real deep, but right now I just wanna do some gentle stuff. Take 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes on the calves, finding what those tight areas are. If you even wanted to write in a journal, hey, my left calf is tight, my right one is tight, this is gonna give us an action plan for later on. Same thing with my hamstrings. Hey, spend a little time here. You better believe those glutes are gonna be really tight. This is sometimes great with a lacrosse ball, but you could use this with a regular roller. Finally, I wanna go to my shins. I'll show you my right leg. Spend some time here. This is an area that we don't spend a lot of time on to think about, but you better believe after slamming those 26.2 miles, these guys are gonna be a little jacked up. Finally, the quads. Be most gentle with the quads. They're gonna have taken a huge brunt of things. But again, spending some time, just gentle rolling. Notice I'm not doing a lot of north or east-west rolling right now, or doing real deep trigger point stuff. I'm just scanning and just starting to break up some of those, bigger muscular damage that just occurred. And then finally, I wanna get my low back and my shoulders. So I'm gonna go through here. Again, I'm using my coffee mug because this is what I have, but I could also use a lacrosse ball here too, and just spend some time on that upper back going through here, because again, we carry a lot of tension. So those are some areas you want to hit. Mark the particularly areas that are tight for you, and then start to build an action plan how you're going to address them in the next week or two. So next thing we're going to work on is some gentle, strict strength. I call this kind of gentle, strict strength, is that we're going to move slow, but we're going to move very precise, and we are going to really give a lot of attention to make sure that all muscles that are needing to be fired are fired, and that we are touching different ranges of motions. So we're gonna hit 10 air squats, we're gonna do 10 lunges, we're gonna do 10 push-ups, and then we're going to do a 10 breaths for a reverse plank. Nora clearly did not just run the marathon, because she is still running just fine. So I'm gonna start here. I'm just gonna show you a couple of each just so you can see. With this squat, and guys, we've got great in-depth videos on all these movements on our channel, so this is just a quick little scan. I'm gonna get my feet in shoulder width stance, toes turned out. I'm gonna push my hips back, shove those knees out, and my goal is to get down as deep as I can. This is gonna feel a little stiff at first, but in general, it's gonna start to feel better. On top, my abs are on and my butt is squeezed tight. I'm trying to get my brain talking to my butt again to make sure these muscles are firing. This is just gonna reconnect things. So I've got 10 of these total. I'm then gonna work on my 10 lunges. So I'm gonna step back into a lunge, and I could just lunge this way. I could also lunge forward, that's just fine. What I'm gonna do, just because I like to add a little bit of extra balance and stability work in, so I'm gonna make this more of a runner's lunge. I'm gonna step back into a lunge, make sure my front shin's nice and vertical. I'm gonna drive this knee up nice and tall. And again, this is just a little activation cueing exercise. I'm balancing on this other foot. Ankle, hip is fired. I'm thinking about, being nice and tall. I'm gonna step back, good. 5 lunges on this side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and switch. Other leg up tall, swing back, 5 lunges on this one. Just make sure that knee doesn't go too far forward or too far in. Next piece is going to be our push-ups. I'm gonna drop down here, nice plank position, fingers spread nice and wide, knuckles directly underneath the shoulder. I'm gonna screw my hands into the ground. That creates that little extra shoulder stability. Again, abs and butt are squeezed tight. Notice I'm always poking here. These are always gonna be engaged. So I'm here, belly and butt's tight. Pull myself down all the way to the ground. If I want, I could press up from the knees, all the way down, press up from the knees, or I'm gonna go here all the time. What I wanna try to avoid are these little short, shrimpy ones where it looks something like this. I'd much rather you go down here all the way, take a moment or two to ponder life, all the way down here on the ground, and then you can drop to your knees and press up. That is just fine. Finally, last little thing we're gonna work on is going to be a reverse plank for 10 breaths. Hands facing forward. I'm gonna press my hips up high, hold this reverse plank for 10 breaths into the nose, out through the mouth. So we're not counting for time here, we're counting for breaths. As I push up this way, this is like a more of a radical extreme version of a bridge. A lot of calf, a lot of hamstring, a lot of glute is gonna get nice and activated here. Abs are on. The other helpful thing, big extension through the thoracic spine and through the shoulders. That's a little mobility piece and a strength piece. Cycle through this 1 round, 3 rounds, 5 rounds per your fitness level. Repeat this workout at least a second time this week. This will help get you back. All right, when you're ready to start running again, I really recommend an extra thorough dynamic warm-up before you get started. Here's some of my favorites. I'm gonna hinge over, touch the ground, and then reach on up all the way back up overhead. Abs are on, butt is squeezed tight. And just this little fold is a great way to get into my hamstrings a little bit. Squeezing my butt on top, straighten my arms up overhead is a great way to just open this up. Once I have about 10 of those, I might focus on a little bit of upper body stuff. I'm just thinking about the things that I like to do. I'm gonna start with just a gentle rotation side to side, swinging my arms a little bit. As I start to go, I can make this a little bit bigger, kind of wrapping this arm around this way. 10 to 15 of these. Good. I'm gonna carry this forward into a little touch of the shoulder and swing my arms straight back. This is a nice way to open up the front of my biceps, front of my shoulders, 10 of these. Then I'm just gonna give myself a little hug. Can I throw my chest forward, touch the knuckles behind the back, and can I give myself a big hug forward? This is gonna open up those pecs and those shoulders because this system is so stiff from all that racing you have just done. So once we've done our bend and touch, we've done these, I could just add a little extra something. Let's say I wanted to get some leg swings, balance on this leg, get this leg swinging back and forth. Good. 10 to 15, I could even swing up, slide back into reverse lunge, drop down, swing up, slide back into reverse lunge, another 10 of those, and then I could go ahead and work on that on the other side. If you need a few more extra squats, go ahead and add them in there. If you want to run and stop again, this first run or two back should really not be about any distance or any time or effort. It's just giving your body what it needs to get back. Now, when should you start running again? Some people might only wait 2 or 3 days to get right back into it. Other people might take 7 to 10 days or 2 weeks to get back into running, or even longer. I would say that depending on how your body responds to the full body scan, how it's moving after the strength, that's going to give you a lot of information of when your body is ready to start running. Simply put, don't push it. Don't run before your body's telling you not to. And especially if you were limping in those final few miles, you got something going on, now is a golden opportunity to address that, not to rush back into training. You'll often hear that you should wait a day for every mile that you race, so 26 miles, 26 days of no training or so. I don't think we necessarily need to go that extreme, but what I will say is giving yourself maybe a couple weeks, 26 days of unstructured training before you dive back into a training program is a really good idea. So take those ideas, follow what we got going on here. Let us know how you're doing in that full body scan on that strength. Post down below. We'll talk to you soon. Remember, in our training club, which you can try for 7 days for free, we have a really awesome in-depth injury prevention series. We also have a full soup to nuts, comprehensive 16-week marathon program. If you want to check that out and train with us a little bit, click that link down below. Of course, if you liked this video, you're feeling a little bit better, give us that old thumbs up. Drop any comments or questions down below, any issues you got going on. We will take a look and respond. And of course, subscribe to our channel, guys, for workouts, nutrition tips, strength and injury prevention exercises, anything around running. We got something going on. So go ahead and hit that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.